Hey guys, welcome to this video, which is again a quantitative section. Today's topic is time, speed, and distance. My name is Saravana, and we get started. There is an equation called art equation. In the mathematical circles, they call this art equation. And what do they mean by art is this: A represents amount, R represents rate, and T represents time. This is called generally called an art equation. The reason is it is not just for time, speed, and distance. You will find the same applied for time and work too. Um, if you listen to my lectures on time and work, you'll exactly know what it means. But here, you can see amount is uh, could be taken as work done, rate could be taken as efficiency, time could be taken as time. Okay, or you could take the amount as distance traveled, rate could be taken as speed, and time could be taken as time, right? So you can see this and this, these two things are not very different. Okay, work done is usually a product of efficiency and time, how efficient somebody is and the time that it takes. For example, I could give you, let's take an example. So let us assume here the efficiency. Here the efficiency, let us assume it to be. Let us suppose that a child eats three chocolates, right? Three chocolates per minute. Now this is efficiency. Efficiency is always per time, something per time, like per minute, per hour, right? That is efficiency because that tells you how efficient somebody is. Within a minute, this child is able to eat three chocolates. Now, if there is somebody else who is able to eat five chocolates within a minute, now that you would say that child is more efficient than this child who is able to eat three chocolates per minute. So, three chocolates, five chocolates doesn't give you the efficiency because three chocolates could be eaten in 1 minute, 1 hour. We need to know the time in which the amount of chocolates is consumed, right? So three chocolates per minute or per hour. Okay, so you must have that time period which is it should be equal. So you can three chocolates per minute, five chocolates per minute. So you can clearly see five chocolates per minute is more efficient. Now this is efficiency. Now what is time? If I say the time is 1 hour, okay, the time taken is 1 hour. Okay, now if you multiply, now see, you cannot directly multiply here. Okay, so this is where this conversion comes about, because this is in minutes, this is in hours. So what should you do? Convert minutes into hour. Okay, so we'll look at how to do the conversions in the later slide, but right now 1 hour is 60 minutes, right? So now you can multiply, because this is in minutes, this is in minutes. Now you can multiply. Now what happens? If you multiply efficiency into time, 3 into 60 will give you 180 chocolates. Okay, so he eats three chocolates per minute. Okay, this is work per minute. Okay, efficiency is also called as work per minute. Okay, when sometimes I'd refer to this as work per minute or work per time period, or minute or hour or something. Okay, it could be minute or it could also be work per hour, right? Or work per second, right? So efficiency will be work per minute or work per a time period. Okay, you multiply them, you getting this 180 chocolates, right? What do you think is this 180 chocolates? This is the total work done. Yes, but the total work that the child does is eating 180 chocolates. The 180 chocolate that he is eating is the work done by the child here. Okay, you know, understanding how time and work relates. Now the same thing, what I'm going to give you is the same thing, guys. Distance, travel, speed, and time. Now usually how will you have your speeds? Yes, usually it will be like this, right? 50 kilometer per hour. Yes, this is how your speed will be. Yeah, as I told you, efficiency is always like work per time. This is also the same way, right? This is also, look at this. This is also now work per time. Okay, the per time here, instead of per minute, it is per hour. Okay, so now this is efficiency. You can clearly see speed is the efficiency or rate. Okay, rate, efficiency, speed are all The same thing, the rate at which something is happening, the rate at which he is driving. Okay, the rate is also called speed, right? Speed at which you are doing something. Okay, that is efficiency. So you can use these words interchangeably: rate, efficiency, and speed. So here you have 50 kilometers per hour, right? Now the time, if I assume the time, guys, let us suppose the time taken is 3 hours. Okay, so he does this 50 kilometer per hour speed for 3 hours. Now what will happen to the distance travel? Now you can multiply directly because it is hours and hours, right? So you have to multiply directly. And one important thing I'd like to point out here itself, guys, you see, it is only in this time speed distance topic where you will have to deal with making sure that the units are the same. I don't remember. I don't. I'm. There is no other topic where you will have to look for these units being same. Okay, because sometimes speed will be mentioned like this. It won't say 50 kilometers per hour. It will say 15 meters per second. Yes. Now this is also speed. Okay, this is also a representation of speed. 15 meters per second. Yes. So I told you, right. So meter per second instead of kilometer per hour. Kilometer has become meter. Hour has become second. Now I'll tell you how to convert from kilometer per hour to meters per second, and vice versa. I'll talk about that. Okay. But before that, you have to know that you need to pay attention to these units. Okay, sometimes this will be meters per second, this will be hours. Now you cannot multiply 15 and 3 directly. Either you convert this to kilometer per hour, or you convert this to seconds. Okay, you should do either one of those things. You convert this to kilometer per hour, or you convert this to seconds, and then you can multiply in that case. But here, in this case, guys, there is no problem, right? It is hours, and here also it is hours. So just multiply it, you will get 150 kilometers. Okay, now again, this is the work done. Here the work done is the distance travel. Distance travel becomes the work done, or the amount. Here amount is 150 kilometers. So you can see it is the same formula, ART, which we use in both time and work and time, speed, and distance. And what's more, this is the only formula you need to remember, as you will see in the next slide. This is the only formula you need to remember for time, speed, and distance. Okay, now there is something called directly proportionate and indirectly proportionate. It is very important you understand this, because using this you can solve some of the time series problems, not all, but some of the time series problems you really can do it very quickly. Okay, within just 2 seconds. Of course, with some practice. Okay, so I do it within 2 seconds because I know this relationship. So make sure you listen to this, guys. Okay, right. Right. So speed is, what does it mean? Inversely proportionate to time when distance traveled is constant. So speed is inversely proportionate to time when distance traveled is constant. Let's look at what this really means, guys. You have to understand this. This is very important. Okay. So let us take the example of distance is equal to 100 kilometers. Okay, so this is constant. You cannot change it. Okay, so we're going to keep this as constant. So the distance is equal to 100 kilometers, and this is a constant. And now distance is 100 kilometers, we'll keep it a constant. Now make sure that you try to vary speed and time and see how it varies. Okay, so we'll use the speed here and time here. Okay, uh, let us take the speed initially 100 kilometers. The speed is 10 kilometer per hour. Okay, the speed is 10 kilometer per hour. Now what do you think will be the time? 10 kilometers per hour. How long will it take to travel 100 kilometers? To travel this much, how long will it take? 100 by 10, 10 hours, right? So the time taken will be 10 hours, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the speed. So 10 kilometers per hour, guys, is going to become 10 kilometers per hour is going to become 5 kilometers per hour. Right? When it becomes 5 kilometers per hour, how long will it take for you to do 100 kilometers? It is going to be 20 hours. Right? Now you can see as I decrease this, what happened? This increased, correct? I decrease the speed, but what happened to time? Instead of decreasing, time increases. This is what we call as inversely proportionate. Okay, I'm going to give you one other variation. Now 10 kilometers per hour, instead of decreasing, I'm increasing. Okay, so 10 kilometers per hour. Yes, so instead of decreasing, here I'm 10 kilometers becoming 20 kilometers per hour. Right? So I'm increasing the speed. Now, what do you think will be the time? It will take 5 hours, right? Yes. So now you can see from here to here, I'm not decreasing, I'm increasing. When I'm increasing, what is happening to time? Time is decreasing. So you decrease, this increases, you increase, this decreases. This is why we call this as inversely relation proportionate. Okay, this is the time. This is the reason why I say speed is inversely proportionate to time when distance traveled is a constant. Okay, and you have to understand, you have to keep distance traveled as constant. Okay, whenever there are three variables, so in this formula there are three variables, right? Distance, speed, and time. Whenever you have three variables, if you have to find the relationship between any two variables, the third one you keep it as a constant. Okay, so we'll do the, now it is time for us to keep something else constant and try out. Okay, now the main application for this is, what is the main application? I'd say the main application is, when people give you speed ratios. Okay, speed ratios. Okay, the speed ratio of uh, trains. Okay, speed ratio of trains. There are two trains. Their speed ratios are 4 is to 5. Okay, their speed ratios are 4 is to 5. Now, what is the time ratio? My question is, what is the time ratio? Because in problems, this is how you will solve it. Okay, you will know, you'll be given speeds. So when you know two speeds, you will know two ratios, obviously, right? Now those, with those two ratios, you can find the time ratio and then try to find the time using the options. All these things, all the shortcut things you can do only if you understand this concept. So that is why I'm giving you these concepts upfront, so that later when we talk about how to solve problems easily or using shortcut methods, you will know what we are conveying. So speed ratios are like this. You know inverse, right? Time ratios are inverse. So what will happen to time ratios is, guys, so time ratios of those trains will be equal to 1 by 4 is to 1 by 5. Okay. Now what 1 by 4 is to 1 by 5 is nothing but 5 by 5 is to 4. Okay. Is nothing but 5 is to 4. So if the speed ratio is 4 is to 5, time ratio is 5 is to 4. Or if you know the time ratio, they say it is 5 is to 4, then the speed ratio is 4 is to 5. Okay, so it is like this. Now people often make mistakes. Instead of two trains, let us say we have three trains. Okay, so the speed ratios of the three trains are given, and it is given like this: 4 is to 5 is to 6. So this is how the three ratios are given. Now looking at how I wrote time ratios, what people will do is they'll take the shortcut, and what they'll write is they'll write 6 is to 5 is to 4. Okay, this is wrong. 4 is to 5 is to 6. The inverse of that is not 6 is to 5 is to 4. Okay, so this is why you have to uh, look at this step. What did I do? 1 by 4 is to 1 by 5 is what I did. So you have to do the same thing. The time ratio for this will be, guys, 1 by 4 is to 1 by 5 is to 1 by 6. This is the time ratio. Okay, now guys, now these are all in fractions and we want it in integers, right? So how do you do it in integers? What should you do? If you have to get the integer value for all this, what will you do? You will have to find the LCM. Yes, if you have to get the integer values of all this, find the LCM, multiply everything by the LCM. What is the LCM of 4, 5, 6? So the LCM that 4, 5, 6 will be 60. So if you multiply 60 by 4, you'll get 15, right? And if you multiply 60 by 5, you'll get, what do you get? 60 by 5 is 12, am I right? And 60 by 6 will be 10. Now this is the ratio, okay? This is the ratio. 15 is to 12 is to 10 is the, if speed ratio is 4 is to 5 is to 6, the time ratio is 15 is to 12 is to 10. Okay, this is the ratio, time ratio that we get. Okay, and this is right and this is wrong. Okay, so this one thing I often see people making mistakes. So make sure that you see, when it is two things in the ratio, then you can directly interchange it, no problem. But when it is more than two, like for 3, 4, 5, you will have to do it using this method. Okay, right. So the next relationship is when the distance traveled is directly proportional to speed when time is constant, guys. So you can see this in you can use the same method to test this. Okay, so the distance and speed will be directly proportionate. Now, for inversely proportionate, when the speed ratios were 5 is to 4, you knew time ratios where 4 is to 5, right? Yes, so this is what we had for inversely proportionate. But when speed ratios are 5 is to 4, what will be the distance ratios? The distance ratios will be 5 is to 4. Yes, because it will be the same as the speed ratio, because speed and distance are, look at here, it is directly proportionate. Okay, so speed and distance are directly proportionate, but speed and time are inversely proportionate. So that is why it is 4 is to 5 for time ratio, and distance ratio will be the same as speed ratio. Even this we'll use it in formulas. Okay, sometimes we use the speed ratios will be given. With that, if we know the distance ratio, we might be able to get the answer very easily. So this is how we use this, guys. Okay, next is, now distance traveled again is directly proportionate to time when speed is constant. Okay, so again distance and time, when time ratio is 4 is to 5, distance ratio will become 4 is to 5 also. Okay, so they are directly proportionate. So this is how you have to understand it, guys, this proportionate thing. And this is the exact reason. Okay, I often ask people, why do we get this form? Yeah, I often ask people, why do we get this formula? Speed, yes, is equal to distance by time. Why don't we say speed is equal to time by distance? Okay, I often ask this, but students, they don't understand it. But now I think you should understand. The reason is simple. Speed is directly proportionate to distance. Speed is indirectly proportionate to time. Yes, now you understand why. It is because of this relationship between speed and time that this formula came about. Okay, because speed and time are indirectly proportionate, it is speed and the time will be in the denominator. Okay, speed equal to, because speed and distance are directly proportionate, speed and distance will be in the numerator. Okay, so this is the meaning behind the formula. Okay, nobody will tell you this. Yeah, that brings us to the formula, guys. The formula that you all know, a distance traveled will be equal to speed into time. Okay, the same thing. Speed, when speed is distance by time, then distance is equal to speed by time. Okay, distance traveled, distance is the same thing, guys. Don't get confused. And now this is also true. Speed is equal to distance traveled by time. You know this to be true, right? Yeah, and time is equal to distance traveled by speed. We use all these three formulas in time distance problems, time speed distance problems. All these three formulas are used, right? We use all these three formulas. Sometimes we'll use the first one, sometimes we'll use the second one, sometimes we'll use the third one. but all these are used. It is not like we just have just for, we just use one or two of these formulas and just have the other ones for the purpose of showcasing. No, all the three formulas are equally used. Okay, that is the beauty about this time, speed, distance, and the name says it well. Okay, they give equal importance to time, speed, and distance, because some problems you'll be asked to find the time, some problems you'll be asked to find the speed, and in some problems you'll be asked to find the distance. So it all the three, it's like a trinity. You know trinity, right? Yes. If you're not sure, go look it up. Look it up the meaning of the word trinity. Okay, they three are like a trinity. Okay. Now there is another concept called relative speed. I want you guys to understand the relative speed and where this comes into uh, being important. So I want you guys to know this. Let us take an example. Okay. Now, right, somebody is traveling like this. This this is 100 kmph. Okay. This is the speed that somebody is traveling. Okay. Now, somebody here. Okay. This direction, they are not traveling, they are stationary. Okay, there is no travel there, they are stationary. Okay, so maybe if I have a dot, you will understand it. Okay, yes, see here somebody is stationary. Okay, so we are having a dot over here. Okay, now if they are stationary, what is their speed? Their speed is 0 kmph. Okay, their speed is 0 kmph. Here we are dealing with two things where one is on the go or one is in motion, the other one is static. There is no motion there. Okay, that is where it is 0 kilometers per hour. Here the other one, you can take this to be a vehicle or you can take this to be a person on a vehicle. Okay, whatever you want you can do it. I mean, whatever you want you can assume it, but one object is moving, the other object is not moving. Here I want you to tell me, guys, you are at this point. Okay, so you are sitting here. We'll mark this point as A. You're standing here. According to you, when this guy passes you, what do you think is the speed of this guy? And we'll also mark him as B. Okay, so this guy is B. This is B, right? So this guy is B, this guy is A. You are sitting there. Okay. Now you are going this way. Now, according to you, when he passes you, or whatever, even when he doesn't pass you, and like when he comes here, when he passes you, will have a good look at him, right? So, what do you think will be the speed of this guy from A's perspective? What will be the B speed of B? What will be the speed of B, guys? Because he's stationary, it is just 100. Okay, because he's stationary, is just 100. Now, from B's perspective, he is moving at 100 kilometers per hour. This guy is at 0 kilometers per hour. Okay, from B's perspective, what do you think will be the speed of A? It will still be 100, correct? From B's perspective, the speed of A will be 100 because B is moving at 100, this guy is just standing there doing nothing. So according to B, if he looks at A, what will he think? He'll think A is moving at 100 kilometers per hour, right? Yes, B will think A is moving as 100 kilometers per hour. So here what is happening is, um, when they are two different things, this is this when one is static, this loses its ability to influence the speed. Yes, this loses its ability to influence the speed. Okay, so you guys will understand what I really mean now. See, here let's suppose here, guys, instead of 0, okay, I'm doing 50. Okay, this guy is doing 50 kilometers per hour in this direction. Okay, now according to him, what will be the speed of B? According to him, the speed of B will be 100 plus 50. Okay, because they are moving in opposite directions. Because they are moving in opposite direction, the speeds will get added. Yes, if you look at a person who is coming in the opposite direction as you, You when especially when he crosses you, you will feel that he goes like zzz. Yes, that is because at that point when he crosses you, he like his speed and your speed is getting added. So you will feel like this guy is going at 150, but actually he's going at 100 because this 50 is getting added to it. Even in the previous case, when he zips past you, this speed and this speed are getting added. Okay, but because this was zero, it remained 100. 100 plus 0 will become what? 100 only, right? So it remained 100. But here, when you have a speed, you can see opposite directions you have to add. What if same direction? So let us take this direction. What if A is going in this direction, right? So obviously B is more has more speed than A. At some point, what will happen? B is going to catch up with A and overtake A. Yes, at the point of overtaking, according to A, what will be the speed of B? It will be 100 minus 50. A will think that B is going at 50 kilometers per hour because 100 kilometers per hour is going. This guy is already going at 50, right? So 100 minus 50 and 50 kilometers per hour is the speed that A will think that B is going, but A is actually going at 100. This 50 will be subtracted when they are going in the same direction. So that is why same direction it is A minus B, different direction it is A plus B. Even with the same so when this guy is not moving, we just take this 100 kilometers per hour and use it. But when two objects are moving, we have to see in which direction they are moving. When they are moving in the same direction, we should take it as we should add, subtract the speeds. Okay, 100 minus 50, 50 minus 100, either which way you can do. Okay, 50 minus 100, if you do, you'll get a negative 50, but you can remove the negative sign because speeds don't be negative, so that doesn't matter. But when they are moving in the same opposite directions, you will have to add the speeds. Okay, so that is this concept of relative speeds, guys. So we'll get deep into this when we talk about problems on trains, but right now just know two objects traveling in opposite directions with A and B kilometers per hour will have a relative speed of A plus B, and two objects in the same direction with A and B kilometers per hour will have a relative speed of A minus B kilometers per hour. Okay, so this is a very important concept in time, speed, and distance where you will be asked to find the average speed. Now, people get confused. They keep wondering how to do this problem very easily. They are given shortcuts, but this is where you get it right, guys. You will be. I'll tell you everything you need to know about average speed. When do we use the shortcut formula? When you should not use the shortcut formula, and all those things. Okay. So watch this carefully. Now, A speed is average speed. Average speed formula is total distance by total time. Okay, this is the formula. Okay, yes, I know some of you will know some of the shortcuts that we can use. Okay, so I'll tell you where we can use that. But one important thing is you have to know this formula. Okay, this is the because this is the basic. This is the foundation. Okay, this is not very difficult to remember because see you see average speed, right? So we also have total distance by total time, right? What can happen is when average speed is equal to total distance by total time, you can take this total distance by total time. You know this formula already, right? Which one is it? You know speed is equal to distance by time. Yes, so it is the same thing actually. Speed, instead of speed we have average speed, instead of distance we have total distance, instead of time we have total time. See, it is the same formula, so you don't need to like have a separate understanding or separate formula for average speed. It is the same formula, just with some extra decorations and additions, right? So this is the formula. So, right. So, but some of you would say, sir, I have learned a shortcut for average speed. Now, where do we use that? Yes, there are places where you use that, but where you use this formula is when distances are different. When the given distances, guys, so they'll say X moved 500 kilometers at 50 kilometers per hour, and the next 200 kilometers at 30 kilometers per hour. So he is moving for 500 kilometers, it was 50 kilometers, 200 kilometers, 30 kilometers, right? So the distances here are different. Okay. When the distances are different like this, you will have to use this formula. Total distance by total time. Let us suppose the distance was the same. So let me give you a visual understanding of this. So from here to here, then from here to here. Okay. This is guys 500 meters. This is 50 meters. Okay. Now here his speed is 10 meters per second, and in this stretch his speed is 25 meters per second. Now if they ask you to find the average speed, they'll ask you to find the average speed of this whole 550 meters. Okay, the average speed that they will ask you is to find for this whole 550 because for 500 meters we know it is 10 meters per second, correct? For 50 meters we know it is 25 meters per second, right? But what we do not know is 550. You add them together, right? So that is the average speed. Now here you can see the two distances are different. When the two distances are the same, or the three distances, okay, sometimes it will be three distances. When the three distances are the same or two distances are the same, we have a shortcut for it. Okay, and how did we get that shortcut? I want you guys to understand this. That shortcut actually came from this formula. If you pay close attention to this formula, that shortcut, that as you already, some of you might know, if you do not know the shortcut, don't worry, I'll just show it in the next slide. But the shortcut actually is a derivant of this formula. Okay, so this is one case. Now the next case is when we have 500 meters, right? And again we have 500 meters, right? So here you can see this will be 500 meters, and this will also be 500 meters. Okay, and this he covers in 10 meters per second speed, and this is actually a 25 meters per second speed. Okay, now in this case, like I told you, you have to apply this formula. Okay, there is no other go. You will have to apply, because when the distances are different, you have to apply it. The distances are the same formula is only being applied. But what happens is, when the distance is the same, so let us take the formula, guys. See, when the distances are the same, see what is at the top? Total distance by total time, right? So our average speed will be equal to total distance by total time. So uh, so uh, so here d1 and d1 will be equal to d2, right? So here d1 will be equal to d2. So what happens is, the total distance, the 2d, what will be the total distance? It will be d1 plus d2, which is 2d. It is the same thing, right? So you can have it as d and d itself. So the total distance will be equal to 2d. So you can mark the total distance is equal to 2d. Okay, now the total time. Now the total time taken. What is the total time taken? The total time taken will be, uh, you know, how do we find time? What is the formula for time? The formula for time is distance by speed, right? So here, what is the distance? 500 meters. What is the speed? 10 meters per second. So but in the case of these guys, in the case of the here you will use that. But in this case, in the second case, okay, this is the second case, right? In the second case, the total time, how will you find it? You will have d divided by 10 meters per second, right? Distance by speed is time. Yes, so this stretch, the first stretch's time is 500 by 10 meters per second. So 500 is d here, right? This will be equal, so d by 10 plus d by d divided by 25. Yes, now you are understanding this. So how do we get the average speed? Average speed is total distance by total time. So we know the total distance, we also know the total time. So it will be like this. So the average speed will be like this. So it will be like 2d right? uh, Divided by d by 10 plus d by 25. Okay, so 2d divided by d by 10 divided by d by 25. Okay, so now just look at this carefully, guys. Now here what happens is this d and this d will get cancelled, correct? Similarly this d and this d will get cancelled, correct? Yes. So what happens is this 10 and 25, what will happen is it will become 10 into 25. Yes, this 10 and 25, you can write it. What is the LCM of 10 and 25? Yes, 10 and 25, the LCM is going to be 10 into 25, right? Or you solve this, what will happen is you can say that this 10 and 25 are speeds, right? Let us take, instead of 10 and 25, let us take them as speeds, guys. So S1, S2. Okay, now see, now what happens is this S1, you now how do you now it has become 2 divided by 1 by S1 plus 1 by S2, correct? Now how do you solve this? You have to take the LCM of S1 and S2. So LCM of S1 and S2 is nothing but S1 into S2. So it will be like this. So you will get something like this. So 2 divided by, so 2 divided by S2 plus S1, right? And this S1 and S2 will go to the top. Yes, so this will become S1 into S2. So you can clearly see this is the equation that is formed. Now you know why we use this as the shortcut, 2 into S1 by S2, S2 plus S1. This is the shortcut, guys. This is the shortcut. If you have the distances to be equal, if the distance is not equal, you cannot do this. Then you will have to apply this formula only. Okay, so when the distance is the same, you can use 2 S1 into S2 by S2 plus S1. You need not worry about the distance at all. You just have to use this formula, which is requiring you to use the two speeds, S1 S2 S2 S1. Right, so we'll see an example problem. A sumo vehicle travels at 50 kilometers per hour on a sandy desert for 10 kilometers and at 120 kilometers per hour on a tar road for 60 kilometers. So you can see the desert speed is less than the tar road speed. Now what is the average speed for both the journeys together? Now, first thing, what should you see? You should look for the distance. How is the distance? The first one is 10 kilometers, the second one is 60 kilometers. So obviously you cannot use the shortcut formula. So you'll have to go with the original formula. So that is what we'll do now. So average speed is equal to 10 plus 60. That is the total distance, right? Divided by total time. So time, you have to use distance by speed, right? That is time. So distance here is 10. For the 10 kilometers, the speed is 50 kilometers per hour. Okay, and that is the time for the first stretch, the time for sandy desert. Now we also have to add the time for tar road, right? So there the distance was 60 and the speed was 120 kilometers per hour, and you solve this, you will get 100 kilometers per hour as the correct answer. Okay, so when the distances are different, make sure you use this formula, total distance by total time. When the distances are same, okay, when the distances are same, the average speed will be given by this formula. Okay, 2 into speed 1 into speed 2 divided by speed 1 plus speed 2. Okay, when the distances are same, this is how usually the questions will be asked. I rarely see the different distance questions. Most questions the distance are the same. Okay, so in other words, they are trying to check if you know the shortcut or not. So make sure that you know the shortcut. Right, the same question, a sumo vehicle travels at 50 kilometers per hour on a desert for 10 kilometers and at 120 kilometers per hour on a Thar road for 10 kilometers. Right, so here as you can see, the distance is the same. Now what is the average speed for both journeys together? Right, So average speed is equal to, guys, first let us assume the two speeds. The first speed is 50 kilometers per hour, second speed is 120 kilometers per hour. Just have to apply this formula, 2 into s1 s2 divided by s1 plus s2. So 2 into 50 into 120 divided by 50 plus 120. Okay, so this will be 70.588 kilometers per hour. Okay. Now, I told you, I talked about this briefly at the top of the session, guys. Um, you have to know the unit conversions well to do these problems very, but to do these problems correctly. Okay, unit conversion is very important. Sometimes the speed would be given in kilometers per hour, but the time would be given in minutes. You cannot use them in calculations like that. You either convert the speed into per minute, okay, or you convert the time into hours. Okay, so this unit conversion, I just want to make sure you all know this. You already studied this in your lower classes, but most of you would have forgotten this. But so I just thought I'll make sure that you remember it. Right, whenever you need to convert from kilometer per hour to meters per second, you have to multiply it by 5 by 18. So 36 kilometers per hour, if you multiply it by 5 by 18, it becomes meter per second. Okay, this thing, guys, 10 meters per second is, this 18 is 2 times, right? So 2 into 5 will be 10 meters per second. So if you take this and multiply it by 5 by 18, you will get meters per second, right? Next, when you are given 10 meters per second and ask you to convert it to kilometers per hour, you take 10 meters per second, multiply it by 18 by 5. Okay, so here it was 5 by 18, here it is 18 by 5. Okay, if you do that again, you will get the 36 kilometer per hour thing. Yes, so you know this, right? So if you, I chose the same number so that you understand that this formula is correct. Okay, but how did you arrive at this 5 by 18? How to remember this 5 by 18? I want to give you that also, guys. Okay, now kilometer, 1 kilometer is equal to how many meters, guys? 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters, right? 1 hour is equal to how many seconds? 3600 seconds. Okay, so 1 kilometer is 1000 meters, 1 hour is 3600 seconds. Yes, so 1 kilometer per hour is equal to how many meters per second? From this, you can say 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 1000 by 3600 meters per second. Correct. Now, these two zeros you can cancel, these two zeros you can cancel. You are left with 10 by 36. What is 10 by 36? 5 by 18. So 1 kilometer per hour is equal to 5 by 18 meters per second. Okay, so if 1 kilometers per hour is 5 by 18 meters per second, then 36 kilometer per hour is 36 into 5 by 18 meter per second. Correct? Yes. So you understand how this formula came about? Yes. The opposite of this is 18 by 5. Okay, so if you remember it like this, you will never forget it. Okay, 1000, 3600. So obviously it's going to be 5 by 18. So in unit conversion, especially when it comes to time, you guys have to know how this happens: hours to minutes, minutes to seconds, hours to seconds, and minutes to hours, seconds to minutes, and seconds to hours. Okay, you have to know what happens. These two things are totally two different categories, because in the first category you have to do something. Okay, in second category you have to do a whole totally different thing. Now, hours, minutes, seconds, this is the order, right? Now, if you have to go from hours to minutes to seconds, so that is what is done here, right? See, hours to minutes, minutes to seconds, hours to seconds. So, whichever way you want to go, minutes to seconds, or hours to seconds, or hours to minutes. If you want to go down, just remember, okay, if you want to go down, you have to remember that you have to multiply by 60 for each step. What do you mean by each step? If I have to go from hours to minutes, multiply by 60. If I have to go from minutes to seconds, multiply by 60. Okay. But if I have to go from the other way, you look at the bottom space, hours, minutes, seconds. If you have to go from bottom to top, if you have to go from seconds to minutes, or if you have to go from minutes to hours, it is just one step, right? You're not jumping two steps. For one step it is 60, for two steps it will be 3600. Okay, so here minutes to sec hours, I'm going from bottom to top. When I'm going from bottom to top, I'll do division. Okay, so you can see at the top, now I'm going two steps. I told you when it is two steps, from you're going downwards, so it is obviously multiplication, and because it is two steps, it is 3600. Correct. uh, this two steps thing will give you 3600. And here again, for two steps, when you're trying to go to the top, it will be division by 3600. Okay, if you remember it this way, you'll never forget the conversion of hours, minutes, and seconds. Okay, so you need not get confused in any which way. So you, after some time, you will know if you have to go from hours to seconds, you have to multiply, because you're going from top to bottom. Now by what you will have to multiply depends upon whether you want to go from hours to minutes or hours to seconds. Similarly, if you want to go from seconds to hours or seconds to minutes, you know you will have to divide. Okay, because you are going from lower to higher. Okay, when you're going from lower to higher, it becomes important for you to know that it is, we are doing division. But you divide by what? You divide by 60 or division by 3600. It depends upon the number of steps you are jumping. One step 60, two steps 3600. I hope you know 3600 is 60 into 60. Okay, I hope you know that, guys. Okay, right. So it's time for us to solve some problems, guys. A cheetah runs at a speed of 126 kilometers per hour. It covers a distance of 350 meters in. Okay. So you what first thing in a problem like this, what is given as speed, right? So we'll have the speed which is 126 kilometers per hour. Okay. And what else do we have? We also have, it covers a distance, right? So the distance is also given. The distance is 350 meters. uh, the first thing after you write down what is given is to see, check these units. Look at this. This says meters, guys, but this says kilometers per hour. So obviously you have to change this to kilometers or change this to meters per second. Okay, any which way will be correct. So it's up to you to decide what you want to do. Okay, whichever is comfortable, do it. Okay, so I'm going to change this to meters per hour. Okay, because we'll have to know the time, right? So meters per hour, how do I change, guys? Into 5 by 18. Okay, so 126 into 5 by 18 will give me that. Okay, and so 18 will be like 7 times. Okay, this 18 will be 7 times, because 18 5 times is 90, right? 18 6 times is 108, and 18 7 times will be 126. So if you have a 7 over here, what will happen is 7 into 5 will give you 35. So 126 kilometers per hour is the same as 35 meters per second. Okay, so it is the same. So 126 kilometers per hour, you can say, either say 126 kilometers per hour, or you could say 35 meters per second. So there is a, both are trying to identify the same quantity. And yes, now what are they asking? They are asking you to, it covers a distance of n time. Okay, they want to know the time. What is the formula for time? Time is equal to distance by speed, right? So this is the distance and divided by speed. Okay, so time is equal to distance by speed. Now what happens is, what is the distance, guys? You know it is 350 meters, right? Divided by speed, what is the speed? It is 35 meters per second. Okay, so this is meters per second, and so your answer is going to be finally in seconds. So this answer is 10 seconds. Okay, so when you convert, make sure that you watch your options. Okay, if the options are in seconds, there is no point in converting this to kilometers, because your answer will be in hours. Okay, so if when your options are in seconds, convert this kilometer per hour to meter per second so that you can get a direct answer. Even if you convert this to kilometers, you will still get an answer because finally you will get an answer in hours, and hours you can convert it into seconds. It is not a problem, but this is an easier method. So watch for your options and then make the appropriate conversion. So the car travels first 300 kilometers at an average rate of 20 kilometers per hour and further travels the same distance at an average rate of 60 kilometers per hour. Determine the average speed of the car over the whole journey. Okay. So first thing in average speed problems, you guys know what should we check for first in average speed problems, guys? You should check for the distance and see if it is the same or different. Is the distance same or different? It is same. So we'll take the average speed form shortcut formula. Okay, when the distance is the same, we can go ahead and take the shortcut formula for average speed. This is the formula, right? So divided by s1 plus s2. Okay, so 2 s1 and s2 divided by s1 plus s2. So this is the average speed, guys. What is the speed, first speed here? It will be 2 into s1 will be 20 kilometers per hour, right? So it is 20 into s2 will be 60. Okay, divided by 20 plus 60 will be 80. So this will give you the answer, and I think it is 2400 divided by 80, and it should be 30 kilometers per hour, right? The next one is two trains are traveling towards each other at speed 36 kilometers per hour and 54 kilometers per hour. In 3 hours, they together can cover. Okay, so two trains are traveling towards each other. Now, I've told you this has something to do with the relative motion because two objects are in motion. Okay, the train one is traveling like this, train 2 is traveling like this. Okay, that is what they say. Now the train 1 is traveling at 36 kmph and train 2 is traveling at 54 kmph. Okay, so and they also say they're traveling towards each other. So what does it mean? It means you have to take their relative speed. I mean, two things are in motion. Whenever two things are in motion, you take relative speed. Okay, but they're traveling towards each other means they are traveling in opposite directions. So opposite directions, what will you do with the speeds? You remember the relative speed lecture that was a few slides ago? In opposite direction, you will have to add the speeds. So in 3 hours together, they can cover how many uh, kilometers? So in other words, they are asking you to find the distance. Yes. So in 3 hours, they are together. How they can cover how many distance? So you have to find the distance. So then the last question, it was time. Here it is distance. Distance is nothing but speed into time. Okay, distance is speed into time. And what is the speed, guys? This here the speed is the relative speed because two things are moving. If just one thing is moving, you take that speed, but because two things are moving and in opposite directions, you will have to add the speeds. If you add the speeds, you'll get what? I think it is 90 kmph, right? Yeah, 90 kilometers per hour into 3 hours. Okay, and as you can see, this is also hours, this is also hours, so there's no need for any conversion. So 90, this will give you 270 kilometers. Right, so this question says Zankrat covers three successive 2 kilometer laps at speeds of 20 kilometers per hour, 30 kilometers per hour, and 40 kilometers per hour, respectively. His average speed over this distance is, see, first thing, average speed, look at the distance. Is the distance same for all the three situations? Yes, it is 2 kilometer lap, so it is going to be the same. Okay. Now, when it is same, we can use the shortcut. The shortcut is 2 s1 into s2, yeah, divided by s1 plus s2. Correct. Yeah, this is for two speeds. Okay, this is the average speed when it comes to two speeds. Okay, what if, how do we do it when it's three speeds? Okay, when it is three speeds also we have a shortcut formula, that is, instead of 2 it is going to be 3. Okay, and instead of s1 into s2 it is going to be s1 into s2 into s3. Okay, divided by, it is not going to be s1 plus s2 plus s3, instead it is going to be s1 s2 plus s2 s3 plus s1 s3. Okay, so you just have to substitute the values here, you will get the answer, guys. Again, you need not worry about what the speed is. So this will become 3 into s1 is 20 into 30 into 40 divided by s1 into s2 is 600 plus s2 into s3 is 1200 plus s1 into s3 is 800. Correct? So you solve this, you'll get the answer, guys. So this should give you 2720 by 26, guys. Okay, whatever that is. Okay, so anyway, I think something 27 point something. Okay, so anyway, so that is going to be the answer. uh, but I hope you understand how I use the same. This is for two speeds. Okay, when the two speeds are given, or two segments, this is for three segments or three speeds. When you have three speeds, this is the formula. Okay, just a minor arrangement that I've done. Okay, but still these are shortcuts, right? Right, this question, we have an international express running at 8 by 9th of its usual speed, reached its destination Yarka in 54 hours. Okay, now how much time could be saved if the train would have run at its original speed? I hope you guys know something when you try to solve these types of problems. In types of, whenever you are asked to find time, speed, or distance, any one thing will always be the same. Either time will be the same, or speed will be the same, or distance will be the same. Because only then you can have a traction, you can have a formula that you can use to solve these types of problems. Here, see, an international express running at 8 by 9th of its usual speed reaches its destination 54 hours, right? So there is some usual speed. If it runs at 8 by 9th of the usual speed, it will take 54 hours. So what we'll do is, let's assume original speed. Let's take the original speed to be s. We don't know what it is, but we'll assume it to be s. And if it runs at 8 by 9th of s, right? So if the speed becomes 8 by 9 of s, right? If the speed is 8 by 9 of s, yes, what happens to the time, guys? The time it takes the destination is, so the time over here is 54 hours, right? So 54 hours is the time. Now when it is the original speed, okay, we don't know how much time could it be saved. Okay, so the time saved will, we will know the time saved only when we know the original time, right? So here this is original speed will give you original time. So this original time we won't know up until we know the original speed. Okay, I mean, so we'll see how to do this. So we have to find the original time, so we'll take the original time to be t. Okay, but one thing that you can see is, in this is one case where uh, it is original speed and the time is original time. This is the second case where the speed is 8 by 9th of the original speed, time is something of the time, original time, right? So this is the first case, this is the second case. Okay, but tell me, in both the cases, is the distance same or different? The distance is the same, right? In this case also distance is the same. They are going from somewhere to Yarkar. Okay, and similarly the second, even the second case, it is the same. So the distance, because the distance is the same, you can say d1 the is equal to d2. Okay, meaning the distance in the first case will be equal to the distance in the second case. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take d1 as, you know what is the formula for distance? Distance is speed into time, right? So d1 can be written as s into t. Okay, so this is the case where it is original, speed is also original, time is also original. Okay, now equal to, now this is not original speed, this is a duplicate speed. What is this speed? This is 8 by 9 of the original speed. Okay, so this is the duplicate speed multiplied by, what is the time now? Now it is 54 hours, right? So the time here is 54 hours. Okay, so the next thing is you have to make sure the units are all like correct. So there is no need to change the units here, as I can see. So you just have to proceed, guys. So what will happen is this s and this s will get cancelled. Now you'll be able to find the original time. Okay, so the original time will be, again you can use this 9, cancel this 9 and 54, and you will get 6 times, right? So this will be 6 times, so 8 into 6 will be 48. So this t is going to have the value, or the original time is 48 hours. Okay, so if this guy can travel at the original speed, he'll reach there in how many hours? 48 hours. So the time saved will be 6 hours, right? So now he's doing it at 54 hours. If he goes to the original speed, he'll reach at 48 hours. So the time saved will be 6 hours. So the answer is 6 hours. As you can see, the key point here is for you to identify what is equal to what. Okay, I told you any one of those distance, speeds and times, they'll be equal. If you are able to identify which one is equal, then you can just put it in formula like this and then solve it. Okay, so that's it, guys, for this.